What is going on, folks? I am Goat. Welcome back to Warframe. Guess what? Paris Prime. I was interested in this. Very fucking interested in this. And honestly, I'm gonna tell you, this is gonna look a little funky. Okay? I mean, the Paris Prime is this big, ornate, funky, ugly-ass looking bow. Personally, I think it's a big, it looks like two hood ornaments that are held together with a handle. So, we're gonna talk about the evolution. So, I have noticed that I just say, hey, here's the first evolution, we know what it does. And I kind of, when I was looking back at the hate, like, here, I'll just show you, for example, okay? Something I completely forgot to mention when I was doing the hate video, okay? If you look at Incarnon 1, I mean, just saying, the top little sentence, this is what the Incarnon does. Well, you know what? It also does that. And that's something that I need to do a better job at. Okay. So, like, again, just like I said in the Wisp video, you know, I'm not knocking the hate for what it is, because the hate's a good weapon. It's the Incarnon function and the lack of information. That's really where I go with. So, just saying it. So, such an interesting proposition with the Paris, okay? Because the first Incarnon headshots, we know, right? Switching back will expend any remaining charge. No shit. Whatever. Sacrifice silence for increased projectile size and heat damage, okay? So you're using a weapon that is supposed to be silent, and now you're going to lob heat bombs at people, basically. And they're not really heat bombs, they're just heat arrows. And they are like Void Dick Natteruk size fucking, you're throwing like void logs down a fucking hallway through people. Now, increased damage by plus 20 with overshields, increased damage by plus 74. Now, there are some options here. I think the other one was like with increased sprint speed, which is fine. It's whatever. Projectile speed, I'm telling you right now, if you're using a bow and arrow like the Dread, like this, if you're using a fucking bow and arrow and it's got Incarnon form, or even just in general, except for something like the Natteruk, because it's pretty much just a straight line, get the fuck out of here kind of bow. Projectile speed is actually of some importance if you are fighting at a distance, okay? Especially with something that you accurately need to be hitting headshots with. Projectile speed's kind of an important thing, because basically you're speeding up the ability for the arrow to fucking fly. So instead of gravity doing its work, because there is a gravity AI in the game, we're not just all floating around with anti-grav, you know. So the arrows have an arc. So projectile speed lengthens the arc. So yeah, taking projectile speed here is great. Now this one. This is something that I'm actually gonna, like, I'm gonna change this, okay? But I'm gonna, I don't know. We're just gonna go to Cavalier, because this really fucking irritates shit out of me, okay? This fully irritates the living fuck out of me, and bear with me, I'm still getting used to my new mouse. So, this is the first weapon that I honestly think does not have a good fourth evolution. Or doesn't have a great fourth evolution, I should say. Okay? It's got two good possibilities. One of them is on there, and I'm gonna put the other one back on. I don't know why I just jumped, man. I just fast travel. I do this shit every time I go there. So,
here's where it gets interesting.
Man, look at all these fucking weapons. Yeah, we'll get to the kunai shortly. Like next video. Here, you know what? Here, look. So here was the first two. Okay. So with sprint speed, you get an increased fire rate. Now, I will tell you that that is actually not a bad thing. Okay. Like, this would be a good one for Wisp, because she's got a 1.25 sprint speed. Like Wisp Prime or Wisp. Wisp has a 1.2 sprint speed. This would be a great weapon for Wisp if you're not planning on using Fullman. Because you get an increased fire rate, and fire rate is kind of a thing with this weapon on the Incarnate side. On the primary side, it's not, but I went with this. Projectile speed, like, this is so fucked up, okay? On punch through hits, plus 40% fire rate for 6 seconds. Well, how much fucking fire rate are we going for here? And granted, it's a bow, so it's gonna get some punch through, especially since this thing has an innate punch through of 3. Yeah, so you can get increased fire rate for 6 seconds. It's whatever. Minus 30% zoom on a bow. The fuck out of here. Projectile speed. The last one is the one that just hurts my head. Okay, so obviously we have increased damage by plus 15 for 3 seconds, stacks up to 4 times. Okay, now I was testing something with this before I did this because otherwise I was going to change it. This, I'm going to tell you right now, I find this to be just heavily stupid. Okay, now granted, could I make the status really, really, really high on this bow? Sure. Do I want to? Not really. I'm not trying to make a bow into a primer weapon. I'm trying to make it into a killer. Now this one looks really, really interesting. And this is what I've been running. But this comes with a massive caveat. I've tested this at the Simulacrum. I've tested this at different missions just to make sure I wasn't seeing things. Now you've got to understand something really funky about this, okay? This sounds amazing. But it only works about a 20th of the time that you think it will. When it says undamaged enemies, it ain't talking about from your weapon. It's talking about any goddamn thing on the map. So if your fucking Kavat or your Vulpaphiler or your Kubro or your Sentinel or one of your buddies casts a fucking ability, anything that could possibly damage an enemy, fucking AoE sprinkles, you know, from a Kuva Brahma a hallway away. If they get sprinkled with pellets, that's considered damage. This no longer works. So you got to take this one with a grain of salt that you're going to get it once in a blue fucking moon, but in my personal opinion, it's still better than this little minuscule base stack.
Okay.
So it's just my personal opinion. You take it for what it is, man. The base damage is at least guaranteed, which is why I was testing it. And yes, it does work. The base damage increase absolutely does work. So I'm definitely not knocking that particular one. But those are the two that make sense to me. So those are the evolutions. Now, the build. It's pretty straightforward. Now, you're going to be probably surprised to see that I don't have Prime Shred on here. Because I'm going with the fact that this thing has a passive punch through. Even though it doesn't show punch through on the Incarnon form, I'm telling you right now, you hit a motherfucker and they get hit behind, the guy who was standing behind him gets hit by it too. It functions very much like the Nadaruk. So for me, punch through is really no big deal, and I just want fire rate, because fire rate on the Incarnon side, there is no quick shot. You know, like if you look at the Paris, quick shot, charge shot, so you can quick tap and release if you need to. There is none of that bullshit. This thing is not having it. Okay, just ain't having it at all. So this is just simply a vial acceleration, and honestly, don't be tripping about that minus 15% damage, because you can actually go against that using the other evolution and completely nullify that fucking problem. Or you can just go like this and it works just fine, trust me. Yeah, the Incarnon form is pretty crazy. It's actually pretty crazy. And it's 3 forma. Like, you don't even need an Axilis. If you want an Axilis, Vigilante Supplies. Just to help boost your crit a little. Doesn't even need to be max. Just throw blank Vigilante Supplies on there. You can also go with primary Deadhead instead of Merciless if you so choose. I mean, like, hell, I'll throw it on here just because I mean, it does works just fine and fucking dandy. The issue is that you do lose just a little bit of that reload time, and yes, there is a difference between reload time and charge time. That's what cracks me up. Reload time is the amount of time it takes you to pull the arrow out of the quiver and put it onto the bow. Charge time is how long it takes you to pull the fucking string. It's actually surprisingly some people that don't realize that. And actually, no, you know what? I'm gonna stick with Merciless just because I want everything fast with bows. That's one thing I really want. And if you think you're gonna be stealthy with this, just don't, okay? Because it ain't gonna work that way. So innate heat, base impact with the Incarnon form, and then obviously a metric fuck ton of viral on this thing, just because I felt like it. So, and yes, carrier only. I'm going to not allow the damn Vulpaphiler to armor strip the fucking enemies, because I keep forgetting to take that damn cat off, and it's like hit or miss on if it's gonna fucking Acolyte stay up or not. Now see y'all, this is the mouse I'm talking about. It's one of them fucking ergonomic motherfuckers. When my wrist gets all fucked up. I've had like surgery on that thing. It's no bueno. Cool. Okay, let's go. Let's go.
And the enemy
Let's kill people.
calls for a song.
They have just shut down.
Where
all
we going,
systems.
baby?
I'm sending
Cool.
life support capsules your way.
Here, just fucking die. See, that undamaged bit comes in real fucking handy if you're not running. Yeah, I mean, look, this is stupid. Here, look, hold on, crowd of motherfuckers. Don't even tell me there ain't no puncher on that fucking Incarnon side. I don't give a shit if it says it's there or not. Get the motherfucker behind the motherfucker. Yeah, as long as you're running like a sentinel with no weapon. Oh yeah, that 40% on undamaged enemies is badass. See, look at that. That killed a dude like 10 meters behind another motherfucker. There's definitely a passive puncher on the Incarnon. I don't give a shit what this thing says. Fuck on out of here. Yeah, honestly, primarily the reason why I'm running carrier is just because I didn't want anything
Ready for a capsule.
damage enemies other than what I was doing. Because this is what the undamaged thing. So if you're like a solo player, this is what you can be looking forward to with the Paris. Okay, fuck you. My God, if I can fucking aim, I let off the goddamn trigger. Thank you.
I delivered a life support capsule.
No, sir.
To the area.
You okay? Really? You just had to
Will buy you more time.
hit me with that bullshit, motherfucker. Yeah, but see, you see, once the enemy is damaged, that damage goes way down. I mean, it's still 150% crit, but you go from like mega red crits to just unadulterated orange crits only. Oh, that was a lot of damage. They killed everything but the Eximus. That's funny as hell. Go ahead. Go ahead. Hack on me, motherfucker. Hey, really? How you doing?
Tenno, prepare
Yeah,
for
this
life
thing's
support.
fucking powerful. It's like they used the Nadaruk passive of that just, or it's like they used the punch through ability of the Nadaruk and just stuck it on the Paris Incarnon. And then said, you know, like they've been doing with a lot of shit. Well, you know, you'll notice it once you use it. I missed.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
Charge. Okay, look. Fuck off. Stupid drones. It's alright. I'm trying to ruin the fun there, but keep my charges for the Acolyte. Oh yeah, bro beans. I already know what you're doing. Yeah, as you can tell, Torment does not appreciate this thing at all. Yeah, this fucking thing it's a stout son of a bitch. Aren't you dead? Bonk. Let's see. Second shot. Orange crits.
Another life support capsule is now available.
What are you doing over there? Die. See, that was just dumb. That dude just jumped in front of me. That's his fault. Alright, we'll go get some life support before we run out of time.
You are running out of time.
See? It's almost like I knew.
Life support activated. The
So-
operative has just made their first discovery.
I mean, there is good and bad with this, okay? I don't like the fact that you are limited with that critical buff on everything. Like, every single type of possible damage that could hit an enemy is that's what's gonna fuck your day up if you're trying to kill a motherfucker. I think that was really kind of a stupid-ass oversight, because everything can damage an enemy. You can blow a fucking exploding container up and damage an enemy, and at that point, that 40% crit buff is no longer valid for the rest of the life of that fucking enemy. So I think that's a really stupid oversight. Like, and personally, I think, like, you know, 40% crit and the whatever 3.8 multiplier, whatever buff that you get from that weapon. Like, if your companion damages it, or if you know, if one of your squad members damages an enemy, I don't think that should apply, but I think it should absolutely, or could absolutely apply to the weapon in itself, which is fine. I'm actually totally fine with that. If it did that, I'd be okay with it. And as it sits, it's pretty fucking good. I mean, picture a ribbon on this thing, right? Just a pure, you know, CCCD, you know, fire rate. Oh, this thing would be just a fucking thing of brutality, or you know, CCCD multi-shot. Oh, fuck. Yeah, this thing is, it's good. Get the Paris. Just do your job and get the Paris. It's good. So, folks, thanks very much for watching. Next video is going to be on the kunai. That's something else in itself. It's interesting, but it's whatever. So, anyway, folks, thanks very much for watching. As always, we'll catch you in the next one, all right?